Okay, if you can do this one thing that I'm about to share with you in today's video, it will literally make you unbreakable when it comes to your dating life and your relationships and who you are as a man. Okay, if you want that level, okay, of rock solid masculinity and just who you are to be solid, I want you to comment the word unbreakable right down below so that way I know that you're committed. Now, today, okay, this one specific point that I'm going to be telling you to master the dating game and to master the communication and the connection with the women who are in your life at all times, this is going to be the biggest driving factor for you to have success. Now, within this one point, there's 3 specific secrets that you have to know that are sub points that go with this. Because if you don't understand these 3 secrets with it, it's going to be very hard to execute on the one thing, because these 3 things that add to the sub point makes it so that way you can execute it in real life. Okay, stay with me to the end. I'm even going to be giving you a little bonus. Now, the number one thing, okay, that makes all women wildly attached to a man, okay, that they don't want to leave and that they're completely in love with forever, is a man who is non-reactive. Okay, and specifically a man who is non-reactive in any sort of conversation that has emotional turmoil. So I'm going to explain to you how I learned this, okay? When I was really young, some of you know this, some of you don't, I had a really hard upbringing, okay? And by hard upbringing, what I mean is like my parents like fighting throughout the entire time, but by the time they got a divorce, it was like a complete war zone. So here's what I want you to imagine. I want you to imagine that you go to bed every single night at 1 a.m. because that's when the fighting stops, when they're finally tired. And then I want you to imagine that somebody wakes up in the middle of the night and they're right back at it by 6 a.m. every single day. Okay, and then keep in mind that both of them didn't care who's around or who it affects. Just imagine like you live in that sort of toxicity every single day for 5 years. Okay, that's what I saw. Now, because of that, I had not only desires to escape, but I also had desires in order to just figure out what makes guys completely lose themselves, not only in relationships, but in real life. So there was this internal conflict that I'm struggling with. And the conflict was, how do I get out? But how do I still make an impact so that way I can save others from not going down that same turmoil? That's what I experienced. So here's the 3 things that you have to watch out for that back up this sub point, because if you don't actually abide by these 3 things, it will completely emasculate you in your relationships and your communication will be ruined and that woman will never trust you. Okay, the very first thing that you have to watch out for is your paragraph lengths. Okay? Paragraph lengths as to how long they are when you're emotionally investing into a conversation with a girl is going to be the number one dictating factor for if I can tell if that relationship is on the rough or not. Okay, to take this point even further, when this video is done, I want you to go down below and I want you to watch the MBT webinar. Okay, that webinar that I put together for you, I'm going to show you behind the scenes masculinity training that I created specifically brand new for this year that can help impact your life even more. So register for that event after this video is done because it's going to totally impact your life in every way, shape, and form. It's some of my best work that I've ever created. The first thing you have to watch out for is paragraph lengths. Okay, the paragraph lengths, if a guy tells me he's going through a breakup, if a guy tells me he's struggling with women, the first thing I'll have him do is I'll have him pull out his phone. If he pulls out his phone, I don't even have to read the words. I can literally look at how long the blue texts are on his end. And the blue text messages, that's his piece of it. Just judging by the length, I can tell if he's overinvested into the interaction. He cares too much, and it means that he's getting reactive. So what I need you to do is I need you to redefine what internal power actually is. Okay? A lot of guys think that masculinity or power, so to speak, if with controlling yourself or anything, they look at it as hammer and fist, right? Like screaming, volatile, animalistic. That's what people think. Now, when it comes to men and how they react, that is extremely toxic, not only for yourself, but for the people around you. And it shows lack of emotional strength. So the reason why I'm telling you this is because if you are consistently out there being reactive, flying off the handle, you're going to lower not only the respect that your woman has for you, but you're also going to just lower the trust that people see in you from the get-go. The best example that I can tell you as to how to actually carry yourself out, if you watch The Godfather 1, it's one of my favorite movies, Godfather 1, if you look at how Vito Corleone reacts when there's ever turmoil, there's ever situations, he's completely calm and he's stoic. That gives other people a sense of strength when they're around you and they want to actually respect you. It helps your situation more. Okay. The first sub point that I need you to watch out for is how long your paragraph lengths are and how frequently you're actually texting your girl or your girlfriend or whatever the case may be for you. That's number one. Stay with me until the end because there's a bonus. I already told you that. This video will impact your life if you just let it. Stay with me until the end because it will help you. The second thing you have to watch out for is volatile emotions. See, when my parents were fighting, and it's not like they ever fought physically. It was only they're just emotionally screaming at each other. They're fighting it's volatile, okay? The second thing you have to watch out for as a man is volatile emotions. If you have volatile emotions, it shows that you have no self-control. So this was the big epiphany that I had for me when I was watching my parents fight when I was younger is I started to realize, hey, you cannot try to logically convince your girlfriend, the woman you're seeing, okay, your significant other. You can't logically convince them of your point because they're not going to see it from your way. You're best off controlling your emotions, not being volatile, and saying, you know what, I'm not going to engage in that behavior, which brings me to point number 3, investing in conversation with no payoff. Okay, what you will routinely see guys do who fail with women, they fail in their relationships, their marriages are struggling, they don't know how to communicate, they don't know how to talk to people, is they're investing in conversation with no ROI, no return on investment. Now, this starts really small and will chip away at your life depending on how long you let it take you away for. So what I mean by that, the first way is you can see men are oftentimes sedated. And by sedated, I mean they don't understand that they're living in the land of pleasure. One way that this happens to guys 9 times out of 10 that I can always tell if they're living life the wrong way in their relationships is they have low-level conversation with their peers that don't have any payoff. So how about that Raiders game? Right? Did you see XYZ player did XYZ? Did you see this? Oh, I was so pissed off on the 40-yard line when they missed that. They have this emotional investment in conversations that have no payoff. If you're talking like that with your peers or your guy friends, your male friends when you're out at hanging out, chances are that's the same way you're communicating with women. And now you're living in the land of emotion, right? It's all about how you feel. There's no payoff. There's no that conversation, whether that went that way for that football player or not, is not going to aid in your life in any way, shape, and form. So these 3 things you have to watch out for. You have to watch out for the paragraph lengths, okay, how long the paragraphs are. If you're engaging in conversation that has no payoff and the person isn't seeing your other point of view, there's no point in continuing it, okay? The second is your volatile emotions. If you're getting invested into a situation, that shows that the other person has your power. You are not going to be attractive to women, especially because women aren't attracted to guys who can't control their own emotions and engage in play that has no payoff. So don't do that. Last thing, investing in any conversation that has no payoff. Okay. So I told you that there was a bonus at the end if you stick with me. I want to hold up on that. Okay. The bonus that I want to tell you is that when I started this journey, okay, when I understood these things, I had a lot of conflict. Every single coach out there, every single person, they all want to tell you their successes. Okay, I'm going to tell you my failures. My first probably 10 to 15 approaches with girls, it was completely I failed miserably. Okay, I got rejected. I didn't hold myself the right way. It didn't feel very good. Okay, and I didn't know what I was doing. Okay, that's the first. There was big conflict. The only way that there was a payoff for me is because there was massive conflict. That's number one. Everybody wants to only talk about their successes. I'm here to tell you I failed a lot. In fact, the only thing that got me to where I am today is actually failing and keep persevering. That's number one. The second bonus that I want to add to you with that is for every single time that you give up, you have to understand that you're selling yourself short because life is really long if you let it be. And what I mean by that is if you look at your life and you say, hey, I might not be where I want to be this month or this week or this year, but you know what? Where am I going to be in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? Because the fact is this, people severely underestimate. Okay, they underestimate what they can do in 10 years, but they overestimate what they can do in 1 year. And they're too short-sighted. If you tell yourself, hey, I plan on living a long time, I'm going to do things the right way, I'm going to communicate and trigger connection with people in the right way, and I'm not going to invest in things that don't bring me an ROI or a payoff, you will live a better life than 99% of men. And that's the bonus that I have for you. So these things, if you do it, women are going to want to stay by your side. And that's why I encourage you to go down below and watch that training I put together for you. Here's what you got to understand right now. If you don't understand MBT, masculine behavioral techniques, I need you to actually ask yourself, how do you plan on getting ahead in life? How do you plan on it? Because you already know that everybody says the same things. Oh, be the alpha, be the bad boy. You already know, all this. You know, every single channel online is just going to tell you, hey, it looks money status and learn the pill colored channel, the pills, and take those, the red pill, blue pill, white pill, whatever the pill color, black pill, whatever you want to go to these pill colored channels and do. They're going to tell you all that. You can choose to go down that road, or you can say, hey, as a man, what are the things I can control in my own masculinity? What are the exact techniques and tactics that I have to master in order to win? And how is this going to not only affect me as a man, but how is this going to affect the nuances in my speech and my sub-communication so I can resonate with people the right way? Until you ask the really hard questions, it's going to be actually really hard to find the right answers, which is why I put together that webinar training for you below. So go down below, watch that. It's going to totally help you, and I hope that this video served you in any way possible that I know it probably will.